Hey everyone, welcome back to IDP Plus Bets. My name is Axton Harding. You can find me on Twitter at AxmanIDP. And if you weren't here last week, I'll give you a little insight as to kind of what I'm doing. And I just started last week giving out an anytime touchdown parlay. And I think I'm going to make this stick. I think I'm going to give this out each and every week of the NFL season, at least through the regular season, and see if I can help you guys make a little bit of money, add a little fun to your betting world, and just come away with a little extra cash this season. So last week I started off with Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, and Josh Allen at a plus 511. Two of those three legs hit, obviously due to CMC not playing on Monday. That leg was voided, but that's the anchor. That was the last one we were relying on and the most surefire one. I count that as a win. We're going to go ahead and roll into week 2, hopefully with a little bit of momentum, and try to build up off of that and see if we can cash all 3 of the legs this week. So I put this into DraftKings a little bit ago. I won't be able to make this bet until tomorrow, so hopefully the odds don't change too much. But when I put it in earlier, it was at plus 613. So we'll go ahead and dive into it. Cooper Kupp comes in first for the first leg of this parlay at minus 130 for an anytime touchdown against the Arizona Cardinals. My man caught 14 out of 21 passes thrown his way last week, and with Puka Nacua out, you better believe that he's going to be the top dog next week against the Cardinals, who have a pretty Swiss cheese defense in terms of pass defense. So I know last week they looked pretty good against the Bills, but the Bills really don't have many established pass catchers. So I think that turns around, and you kind of see some flaws in that Arizona secondary, especially with Cooper Kupp. You really can't take him out of a game. He's kind of had 2 seasons where he's like a top 5 wide receiver. The guy can just do it all. And you know that teams have had Puka Nacua in game plans to some extent. So I just expect Cooper Kupp to have a huge game this week. And the Cardinals secondary allowed 16 touchdowns, which was the 9th most touchdowns to wide receivers last year. So they did not do a whole lot to bolster that secondary. I like this one for an anchor play for this week. Our second leg here is Mike Evans for an anytime touchdown, plus 120. I really can't believe that the books are still giving us plus odds on Mike Evans, considering he had like 13 straight games with touchdowns last year, and it seems like the momentum is only carrying into this year. So it's obvious that he's still Baker Mayfield's top red zone target, and this week he goes up against the Detroit Lions, who let Cooper Kupp run loose in week 1 for like 120, 150 yards and a touchdown. I'm not going to say Mike Evans is going to have that kind of day. I would imagine the yards go to Chris Godwin, but as I alluded to before, Baker Mayfield loves Mike Evans in the red zone and in the end zone. That's his favorite target. Detroit Lions, a seemingly daunting matchup. Their secondary is pretty porous. They give up big plays and they let wide receivers run loose. They didn't do a whole lot to shore up the secondary this year. They lost C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They got a cornerback, Carlton Davis, which doesn't really change much for me. And last year they allowed 22 wide receiver touchdowns, and which was enough for 3rd most in the league. So although this defense might seem a little daunting, there's some areas we can exploit. So I really like this matchup. Mike Evans, anytime touchdown, plus 120 for our second leg. Our final leg here, it's going to be a good one here. I like Isaiah Pacheco for an anytime touchdown this week against the Bengals. Chiefs play the Bengals at home. This might be a little bit of a homer pick, but bear with me here. I've got a good case. Kansas City has made it clear with their scheme and verbal commitment to getting Pacheco in the run game more involved. We saw that take place more in the second half of last week, where you really saw Pacheco go from about 5 to 6 touches in the first half to up to 15 or more in the total, over the course of the rest of the game. So, and then also throughout the end, the last little bit of last season, you really started to hear the coaching staff and actually see it play out on the field where they wanted to get him more involved. So I think that's still coming to fruition. They're following up on what they're saying. I like that. This week they go up against the rivals Cincinnati at home, where they've just been nonstop talking smack as long as this rivalry has been going, since Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have been in the league. So this looks really good for the Chiefs coming in. And they gave up 120 yards, 120 rush yards, and a touchdown to Ramondre Stevenson last week in a New England offense that has historically been awful and not been able to sustain drives. So I expect the Chiefs to get up early and run. And if they're going to run a lot, Isaiah Pacheco is going to be have his work cut out for him. He's going to be working a lot. He's going to be ground and pounding all game long. And Andy Reid likes to reward those guys that are working hard throughout the game, and he likes to find those guys the end zone. You saw it with Xavier Worthy, wanted to get him one early, and then he was excelling in his performance last week. He even got another one. I think Rashee Rice even found the end zone. So the big playmakers in this offense will find the end zone. Travis Kelce used to be kind of a one you could rely on, but defenses are more honing in on him, but it's really hard to stop the kind of weapons that the Chiefs have this year. And the Bengals were even generous last year to our running backs, giving up 12 touchdowns in 2023. So I really like Pacheco to punch one in. I think they get it inside the 5 or 10. Pacheco is going to get the first 2 downs to try to run it in. So this team's really good at sustaining drives and finding themselves within the 20-yard line. I think Pacheco is going to get first dibs at a touchdown. So again, we're just going to kind of wrap it up. We started with Cooper Kupp anytime touchdown at -130. Then we went to Mike Evans at +120 and Isaiah Pacheco to round it out at -120. That came up to +613. We're looking at over 6 times our cash if this hits. So let's be smart this week. I'm not suggesting everybody bet the rent on anything like this, but this is a good fun parlay that I feel really good about. I feel like the odds are great, and put these 3 together to get us 6 times our cash. I think this is a good one for us. So let's be smart. Let's try and be responsible with our betting this week, and good luck. So thanks everyone.
Thank you for watching the IDP Plus YouTube network. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to tap the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new content.